I feel like I need to start this video for my own safety by saying that if you love this series, then that's a good thing. Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous isn't a bad show. It's just that the beginning of it is just an awful slog, and not the kind that helps with immersion, but the kind that breaks the believability of the show it is trying to start. Fortunately, it does get better in the later episodes. So, since Season 2 is coming in about half a month, I feel I need to get this off my chest. Ever since I saw this series, the first scene was the only scene that I couldn't stop hating, and now here I am venting about it. This video is mostly going to be me rambling about all the things that pissed me off and almost killed the show in my eyes. Anyways, allow me to explain why the beginning of Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous almost killed the show. So, what was so bad at the beginning of this show? For starters, that stupid game that the kid Darius is playing is just the most ridiculous crap imaginable. It's a VR game that takes place on Isla Sorna where the player is being hunted down by velociraptors and a T-Rex, and whoever beats the game first gets a free trip to Jurassic World and the upcoming Camp Cretaceous. Not only is this game ridiculous from a gameplay perspective, but it fails in world building as well. Most of my problems are with this game, and I would love to start with the world building part of it, but I'm going to start with the main character, Darius. Part 1. Character introductions matter. Darius is the main character who is introduced after he fails at beating the game that we will be getting to later. So, what do we know about Darius? Well, he likes dinosaurs, like all teenage boys in the Jurassic Park franchise. Not a great start. Oh, and his brother lazily exposits how their dad is dead, which is better than nothing, but the brother doesn't help in selling that their dad mattered as much. But that's not the problem here. The problem is with how Darius obsesses over the game. When he doesn't win, he says, "Oh, if I can just do that, then I'll win!" without assessing the problem and asking what he needs to change and adapt to face a challenge. But no, he figures out how to solve his situation when he is in his bed asleep. Yes, while he is in bed and snoring, Darius just figures out that the raptor bones have a vocalizing chamber and decides to use that to beat the game. However, I want to talk about Darius and his library of paleontology books. There's a massive problem here about Darius having all these books, because there is no middle ground for paleontology. I would know because I have tried to find intermediate material when I was the same age as Darius. You either have a 10-page, 100-word lullaby, or you have one of those 100 citation, 10,000 plus word college papers made by people who are way more experienced and smarter than a teenager. This first 7 minutes introduce Darius as an AP-level dino fanatic that solves his problems while subconsciously making his best chainsaw impression. And we haven't even gotten to the best part yet, because... Part 2. This fictional game should not exist. If Jurassic World, the Maserati Corp, or InGen had half a brain, they would never have allowed this game to make it to market, because it would devastate the park's image in the public eye. You are in a game where raptors and rexes kill you and Dr. Dinner. Could you imagine the public backlash and concern if a game like this was released? People already have Dr. Grant and Ian Malcolm's accounts for how the first island fell apart, and now they have a VR game to bolster those concerns. And if you want to compare this to real life, imagine a game where you play a park worker at SeaWorld, only instead of taking care of the animals, players abuse the animals. Or imagine taking your kids to an African safari and you decide the best way to get them excited is to have them watch the film The Ghost in the Darkness. It's kind of like that. Only Jurassic World was stupid enough to make this game. I wouldn't be surprised if in this obscure lore surrounding this show, Ian Malcolm made it to sabotage the park as anti-dino protesting. I was so confused as to why this happened that I asked my friends on a group chat I was part of, and he responded with 3 things. That A, it's a game, but that still doesn't mean it can't damage the public perception of Jurassic World. B, it takes place on Isla Sorna and Isla Nublar. For all those who don't know, Isla Nublar is Site A, or the island with the park where the first Jurassic Park took place, and Isla Sorna, or Site B, is a different island where the Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 take place. But taking place on a different island won't stop the public from being scared. And finally, with C. He said that the game isn't advertising getting eaten, but is instead a way for InGen to make more money. Wrong. Being the first to beat the game gives players a free trip to Camp Cretaceous, a camp full of kids. But those kids need to play through a game where the NPC dies in front of you. Also, imagine if someone that wasn't a little kid beat the game first. Do you really think that the staff would want a middle-aged introvert in the camp surrounded by teenagers? It's clear that this game is made for kids, if it gives a free trip to a kid's attraction. But hey, it makes money for Jurassic World, right? No! The idea of this game making money doesn't work because... Part 3. This game would never sell. After Darius gets killed by the T-Rex and gets a game over, his brother comes in and, in a very cringe-inducing exposition dump, and while this is happening, he says, "Not even gamers can beat this game." Let that line sit in for a minute. Gamers. Now then, if we are talking about Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie, then maybe his brother saw one of their videos where they said it was unbeatable as a joke. But Darius is explicitly the first person to beat this game. It is here that the whole thing falls apart. If anyone wanted to make money off this game this challenging, then they would have made it beatable. Sure, there are difficult games that gamers rage quit, but there is something that the showrunners forgot. Many gamers love intense challenges, but challenges that can be beaten. There are reasons that games like Dark Souls or Sekiro Shadows Die Twice have become so popular. It's because, while they are intense challenges, they're fair challenges. When you play a well-designed challenge, it needs to be a challenge that can be beaten. If not, then no one would play this game. So, the game wouldn't sell well, it would upset gamers, it still would have damaged the public's perception of Jurassic World. Not only that, the idea that gaming communities haven't beaten this game before Darius is ridiculous. Part 4. Darius was the first to beat this game? If you walk into a standard game store or Best Buy, you might meet some people there who are looking for a new game to play casually. However, on the internet, it's a completely different story. There are whole communities out there who are dedicated to finding every secret a game has to offer. And there are other communities who look for the most difficult games they can possibly find. And these people are good too. Within a few weeks, these fanatics are able to find almost every single secret and trophy possible. Are you seriously telling me that no one thought, "Hey, I want to mess around with those bones"? Because guess what? People do that all the time. All the time! And even if there was some sort of scripted barrier preventing these maniacs from beating the game without any online help, can you seriously say the same for everyone else? Take a look at Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. About a month before the game released, there was a downloadable demo for anyone who wanted a taste of it. Naturally, some people couldn't help themselves, and they data mined the demo in 2 days. For anyone who doesn't know what data mining is, it pretty much means that someone breaks into the game's code to find anything written within the game's coding. Data mining can reveal some pretty interesting stuff. The people who data mined Age of Calamity didn't find much, but the point still stands that people would have either data mined the game to find out how to beat it, or just cheated to give themselves an easy win. And somehow, Darius beat the game that no one else could beat? It may sound like I'm getting mad over anything I can, but the computer side of this show actually pissed me off. Technology, science, and especially computers have been an important part of the Jurassic Park franchise since it was just a novel. It was Nedry sabotaging the computers that caused the first park to go to hell. So, can you imagine how pissed I was when they got the computers wrong in the form of a video game? It would have made way more sense if Darius won his ticket in a Dino Trivia for Kids instead of InGen sinking millions of dollars to develop a dinosaur money eater. Like I said, the show does get better from here, and despite how furious I may sound, I am still looking forwards to the second season of Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. It just has a really bad beginning. I half expect that this was some sort of bait on the part of the showrunner so they could lower our expectations before showing us the good stuff in the show. Anyways, enough ranting. Please do all that subbing and liking and whatever else those videos on YouTube ask. Anyways, have a nice day, and bye. I'm gonna go get my butt kicked while playing Sekiro, so...